welcome to my rooftop. Today we're going to be planting a herb garden, and these are called eco-friendly sticks. As you can see, the seeds are all glued to this stick, and so the bottom of the stick will disintegrate, allowing the seeds to get planted into the soil and sprout. This is my humble effort to plant a seed garden, and I hope it will be successful. So let's get started. Number one, you will need a big bucket. You will need some planters, and you will need a big bag of best organic soil that you can get from any gardening or hardware store, preferably potting soil. So now we take the soil. I'm going to pour a little soil in. So we added some soil. Now I'm going to add some water because we need a little bit of water. Not a lot, just a little. Mix it up. I need a little more because the soil is a wee bit dry. Remember, not a lot of water. You need to put very little water. Now we're mixing it. And then you have something like that. It's kind of wet and sticky and goopy. And now I'm going to take this goopy mass and take a planter. So here's our planter. It's terracotta red and it's got some holes in the bottom. And these are pretty handy. You get a set of 8 from the dollar store. If you like better looking planters, you do get the porcelain ones too. Or you can even slide these ones into those porcelain ones because these are like very streamlined so that they fit in those ones. So now I'm going to take my potting soil and put it in here. I think I need a wee bit more, so I'm going to mix a little more soil. And then add a little water. Mix it up. We'll make some icky wicky mud. How many of you like icky wicky mud? Those of you who are experts at growing herbs, if you could drop some tips in the comments below as to how I can help save my herb garden and make sure the herbs grow successfully. Hey, I'm adding some more soil in. Alright, so our planter is ready. There we have it, the soil. Remember always to leave a nice big lip around your planter so that if you do put water, the water has space to stand and get soaked into the soil. I'm going to flatten my soil a little bit. And I'm going to take my first eco stick. I think I'm going to plant probably the basil. I'm going to plant the basil in here. And there we have it. My first eco stick is planted. Alright, let's go on to do the next one. So we take a little more soil. And I'm going to put some more water. And make some icky wicky mud. Icky wicky mud is a lot of fun to play. It's a great sensory material for children as well. Like mud is a whole sensory texture in itself, like the gooiness, the grittiness. And then if you play with mud out in like parks and stuff, you have all the worms and earthworms and all those creepy crawly creatures in the mud, which you can really talk about because all those creatures really help the mud to remain aerated and healthy enough for plants to grow in. For example, the worms, they help to aerate soil because they kind of dig through the soil, and that kind of overturns the soil and gives it a change of location, and that helps some more airflow into the soil. The soil is home to a large ecosystem of creatures. If you're not planting plants at home, the garden soils and park soils are home to a vast ecosystem of animals, and it's really great to study them. I somehow feel like playing with this soil feels like, mixing a little bit of the flour mix that you have into the dough, but soil does not make a dough. It just becomes gooey wet mass, which is good. Alright, my second planter is done. And this time we're going to let's plant some oregano, friends. Alright, and we're on to the next plant. And I think the soil under was a little wet, so I'm just going to use that added moisture to wet this soil. And I'm going to add a little more water. It's a hot day today in Canada, so we definitely need the water. And there we go, we're making soil. This is so much fun, like the sensory experience. It's really fun. I like planting and I love flowers, but this is my humble attempt to grow a little garden of my own that I can cherish and love. And hopefully my beautiful balcony that overlooks the city of Waterloo might help with all this beautiful sunshine. But I know seeds in the germination stage do not need a lot of sunshine, and some can tolerate a little excess amount of shade, which is good in a way. And so you have to read the labels on your seeds to make sure what they like best. I know I love the chives plant, and I've seen the chives plant growing wild at schools I worked at, and they've just come up over the spring on their own, which is amazing. So I'm going to put this last amount into this pot, and then we're planting. I think we'll plant the rosemary. Here goes rosemary. And I'm gonna add some more soil. We'll have chives to plant. Once the chives are done, see how this goes. This is going to be the last spot for today because I planted 4 sets of herbs. Hopefully I get some herb plants pretty soon. I'm super excited to see how they grow, whether I'm capable of growing any plants. So we shall see if I'm capable of growing any plants. Yes, I need to put you there, planter. And then the planter of mine almost good to go. Alright, here goes nothing. Gonna add one more hunk of soil. Water. got our last and final pot. And now we're gonna plant the chives. And so here we have it. Here's my basil plant, as you can see. And then I planted oregano, as you can see. And then I planted chives. And last but not the least, I planted some rosemary. Thank you everyone for joining me on my gardening journey. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.